Hey there YouTube. So we're back on with another video about Geometry Wars Retro Evolved. This time we're in Geometry Wars Retro Evolved 2. So what's the difference between the two games? Well, the difference is on this one they've added multiplayer, and the multiplayer is pretty good because there's up to 4 players can play this together. Single player, you've got all these modes to go through, and what I'm going to do is I'll just quickly show you sequence. Sequence is an interesting mode where you are basically playing a few of these sequences, and yeah. So basically, it just takes you through all these boxes, and you just play the different levels, as I like to call them, because that's what they are, the levels. And they've added a few new things in this. In the second iteration of Geometry Wars, and what they've done is they've actually added these little blobs that when you shoot the shapes, they leave these little blobs behind, and you have to actually collect these blobs in order to increase your multiplier. And you just basically just carry on going through the sequences. You get a 30-second time limit, which I think resets upon completion of the previous level or the previous sequence, if you want to call it that. But yeah, and they've also introduced these weightlifting barbell type of things where you can you have to go straight through the middle to blow up them and anything that is around there. And as you collect these, the multiplier, you realize that the multiplier, the more the multiplier basically goes up, the higher the score. Well, the quicker you'll get a higher score, basically. So collecting these is essential, but I think we could probably get away with playing this game without actually collecting these. But it's nice to collect them. I mean, if you're moving about a lot, then you automatically collect them anyway. But yeah, so this is basically sequence. I should have done that. Normally by now when I play this game, well, I was going to say normally by now when I play this game I've died at least about a couple of times. But yeah, this is sequence, so I hope you get the idea of what sequence is. There's no point going through all of it. Waves is an interesting one. You have one life, and just as you saw there, didn't do too well there. But yeah, you have one life, and you have to go through these waves basically. And as you go through the waves, it just basically, gets in as many enemies as possible, more shapes to piss you off basically, and to kill you easily. So that's waves. And you have pacifism. Pacifism is an interesting one where you can't shoot, you only have one life, no bombs, and you have to basically go through here in order to kill these guys. And when you're going through these bombs, you've got to actually make sure that you go straight through the middle. If you touch the edges, you die. And there you go. And that was pacifism. Evolved is just your normal, evolve. If you've seen the previous video, then you'll know what evolved is. Evolved is just basically you have 3 lives, 3 bombs, no time limit, and you just gotta basically get that high scoring. And as you can see, my all-time high score is 14, 470, 453. Which isn't the best, but it's good enough for me. I'm happy with it, so fuck it. Yeah. So this is basically, evolve. I think the one that I normally, the mode that I actually go to is Deadline. Deadline gives you 2 minutes. Oh yeah, these can deflect bullets as well, by the way. Deadline gives you 2 minutes, and you've just basically got to infinite lives, 2 minutes, 3 bombs I think to begin with, but they increase as your score increases. Yeah, so this is evolved, and King is an interesting one. You're restricted to you can only shoot while you're in these circles. Collect the multiplier blobs, get back in the circle, shoot, and rinse and repeat. So you see, the way that I do it when I play this game is whichever circle that I'm going to go to next, I try clearing a pathway to that circle. But these circles are quite close. You'll see that they start to spawn in further locations than the also 1 life. And this has to be my most favorite mode because I love the music of this. So as you can see, when you die in this mode, you have infinite lives, but you're restricted to the time limit, which is, I think it's 2 minutes, maybe 2.5, maybe 3 minutes. I'm not sure. I'm going to check it out next time. But you're restricted to a time limit, and what happens is when you die, the enemies respawn. They take a bit of time to respawn. So essentially, what the game is doing is it's wasting time. It's scoring. But that's one of the things that basically holds you back from dying too much. Because every time you die, it takes a bit of time to spawn the enemies, and you have less time to do with it, get that high scoring. So yeah, it's a very interesting and very fun to play game mode. But the best thing about it is that it's fun in short bursts. So you're guaranteed enjoyment with this. You will absolutely love this if you love twin stick shooters. If you're not into twin stick shooters, then obviously this isn't your cup of tea. But I mean, if you're not into twin stick shooters, it's definitely worth trying out. Just to see if you're gonna like it or not. It could be that you're not a twin stick, you're not a shooter type of person, but you actually enjoy this. The music in this mode has to be by far my favourite aspect of it, and also that it looks absolutely gorgeous too. And there you go. So that was basically Geometry Wars Retro Evolved 2. If you're ever thinking of, picking up a twin stick shooter game, then this definitely has to be it. My only, the only thing that I can think of, which is it's not. I wouldn't say it's anything that's game breaking, but my only gripe with this is that in the previous game, as you would pass, a certain amount of score, your your firing mode would basically change, and it would just go back and forth between the two firing modes that that the game gave you. In this game, even though they've given you a lot more to play with, a lot more modes to play with, they've for some reason they've decided to stick with the same type of firing throughout all the modes. So that's one thing that actually sort of gets to me, that they could have you know added maybe a few more firing modes, maybe given the player a bit of a choice of what types of firing modes that he wants to choose. I mean, it would have been absolutely wicked to to navigate the ship with the sticks and shoot with the sticks, and then be able to switch between the firing modes with the LB and RB buttons. But it is what it is. It's an old game. It's running on new hardware, and it looks absolutely brilliant. It actually looks like a very modern game. So well done to Bizarre Creations for pumping this out. Absolutely wicked game. Uh, and that's it for me. Any recommendations, suggestions, leave it down into the comment sections. Let me know if you enjoyed these videos or not. Whether you like them, whether you don't like them. Either way, just let me know. Let me know how you think that I could make these better. But anyway, that's it for me. This is a wrap, and until next time, this is Q signing out. I'll see you guys later.